Lee Van Cleef, born Clarence Leroy Van Cleef Jr. on January 9, 1925, in Somerville, New Jersey, rose from the hardships of the Great Depression into one of cinema's most unforgettable faces, shaped early by discipline, resilience, and service as a U.S. Navy sonarman aboard a minesweeper during World War II, where courage and quiet focus became second nature to him. After the war, he briefly explored life as an accountant and painter before the pull of the stage proved irresistible, leading him into theater, where his deep voice, angular features, and intense presence quickly caught attention. His film debut came in High Noon, 1952, where despite having no dialogue, he left a chilling impression as one of the silent gunmen stalking Gary Cooper, instantly marking him as a natural screen villain. Throughout the 1950s, Van Cleef became a staple of westerns and television, appearing in films like The Tin Star, The Bravados, and The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance, often cast as ruthless outlaws or cold henchmen, roles that cemented his reputation but also confined him. By the early 1960s, a serious car accident left him in chronic pain, and Hollywood largely moved on, reducing him to minor roles, until fate intervened when Sergio Leone recognized a depth others had missed and cast him opposite Clint Eastwood in For a Few Dollars More, 1965, transforming Van Cleef overnight into an international star with his dignified, morally complex portrayal of Colonel Douglas Mortimer. The following year, his role as Angel Eyes in The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, 1966, delivered one of cinema's most chilling villains, redefining the Western anti-hero and securing his place as a leading figure in the spaghetti Western era. Through the late 1960s and 1970s, he dominated European cinema with films like Death Rides a Horse, Day of Anger, Sabata, and Return of Sabata, finally earning the respect long denied to him in Hollywood. Off-screen, Van Cleef was the opposite of his characters: quiet, thoughtful, gentle, devoted to painting, sailing, and ranch life, and deeply appreciative of family despite personal turbulence that included 3 marriages reflecting different chapters of his life. His first marriage to Patsy Ruth Kay in 1943 endured wartime separation and early struggles but ended in 1958. His second marriage to Joan Marjorie Drain coincided with his rise to stardom and ended in 1974 amid the pressures of fame, and his third marriage to Barbara Havlone in 1976 brought lasting peace and companionship until his death, as she supported him through declining health. Continuing to act into the 1980s, Van Cleef introduced himself to a new generation through Escape from New York and the television series The Master, never losing dedication to his craft. Late in life, reflecting on his journey, Van Cleef named 7 actors he deeply respected for their authenticity: Clint Eastwood, for his quiet strength and mastery of silence; Henry Fonda, for his moral honesty and restraint; Gary Cooper, whose stillness conveyed profound courage; Charles Bronson, whose grit came from lived struggle; Eli Wallach, whose intellect and preparation brought characters to life; John Wayne, for embodying the American Western legend without pretense; and Yul Brynner, whose elegance and commanding presence brought sophistication to the genre. For Van Cleef, truth was the ultimate measure of greatness, believing that whether hero or villain, if the audience believed you, you had done your job. Lee Van Cleef passed away on December 16, 1989, at the age of 64 from a heart attack complicated by throat cancer, closing the chapter on a remarkable life that rose from obscurity to global reverence. Today, his steely gaze, quiet power, and nuanced performances endure as symbols of cinematic strength, reminding audiences that behind every hardened gunfighter was an artist capable of profound depth, vulnerability, and authenticity, qualities that continue to inspire generations of actors and filmmakers alike.